Texas, where it's 37 degrees right now. We we're all, today's all about playtime and about getting exercise because oftentimes when it gets cold outside, the dogs get bored because they're inside so much. We don't have outdoor dwelling dogs, especially when it's cold like this. We've gotten some at least 3 or 4 mornings where we were below freezing, and so your dogs don't need to be outside, you know, overnight, when it's that cold outside. So they've been inside a lot, and being inside means they get bored sometimes because they're not allowed to do what they do outside inside the house. Indoor is usually for eating, sleeping, relaxing, everything but having the fun time that they're used to having outside. So although it's cold, we still have to have some playtime. We still got to have exercise, and as you can see, my Cane Corso is wearing a weighted vest just to maximize his playtime. Now it will warm up later on today, guys. I mean, here in Central Texas, we don't get cold very long, so I've got on the gloves and the hat, but by 12, 1 o'clock this afternoon, I'll have to get rid of all this extra clothing and stuff. But the dog's been pretty good, though. They've, you know, living with these big dogs is not an easy feat. Big dogs require a lot of exercise. They require a lot of energy. They require a lot of attention. And so, guys, don't go over there. Stay over here. So the neighbors are trying to coax. Hey, Chloe's grandpa, what's going on? Thank you. I love watching them play too. I'm just sitting here by the pool, and so Hunger is throwing up over there. Stormy, are you okay? You okay, baby? Are you okay? Says, yeah, I'm fine, Dad. Yeah, they got to have their playtime. Even though it's cold and they're stuck in the house a lot. When it's freezing, they need to still come out and play. So that's what we're doing. Yesterday we came out and we had a lot of errands to do, and of course my daughter's got a soccer schedule she's trying to keep up with, and we had to go out of town, and so we were gone most of the day yesterday. But the nice thing about having that golf cart is, you can get a good exercise in with the dog within like 10-15 minutes. So before we hit the road and went to the soccer game, I just put their collars on them and put their leashes on them and ran them in the neighborhood for a good solid mile at least. I think we did about a mile and a quarter, and that was enough to give them the exercise for the day. And the reason why I do that is because, again, he's still young. He requires a little bit more exercise than she does, and he didn't run after that. I thought I was going to chase it. But because she's older, she's 4 years old, and she's pretty much okay with having a boring day, from start to finish. She come out here, she does her business, gets some water, you know, goes lay back down, eats some food. She's good, which is the nice thing about a maturing dog. Mature dogs, they're just not as playful. They still are. They still play. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that my dog does not play, but she just doesn't require as much. She's perfectly happy. She's not going to be super destructive. And, she's not going to tear up anything just because she's bored necessarily. Now, this guy here, he's the one that needs to definitely be tired out. He definitely needs the exercise, because if he doesn't get it, he gets a little bit antsy and he wants to destroy things. So my staff, when I let her out, tell her to run, and she does zoomies. Yeah. So Chloe's grandpa, I gotta say the whole thing because you're not Chloe. You're Chloe's grandpa. How old is your staff? Staff again? Are they older, mature dogs, kind of like Storm is, or just kind of young? Because they both get the zoomies. Storm will get riled up, and you guys seen her. If you watch me long enough, you've seen Storm get all excited and wants to chase Rain around. But for the most part, she can spend a day. Like if we have to go out of town for some reason, and we see him in the morning, we don't see him again until like 5 or 6 in the afternoon. She does fine. She'll hang out on the couch and she'll probably just sleep the whole day. He won't. The 2 years old. Okay, so they're still kind of in the same or the staff same age as the Cane Corso here, so they still need that little playtime. Oh, she's got a poopity poop. They still need that release of energy. And I think it's more important for these younger dogs, like my Connie Corso, to get that out, uh, or else they find ways to do it. And usually it's a way that you don't want them to do it, right? To knock stuff over, or run around the house, or bite the window seal, or scratch the floor, or they just get into things. So before we left yesterday morning, I got up early. I want to say I was up about 7 o'clock. Had them strapped in, grabbed that golf cart, and we just went to town. The funny thing about it though is he started to learn to, for some reason, to kind of exercise on his own terms. And what I mean by that is he will trot, but then he realizes that I'm not gonna drag his neck to run. So he'll just slow down and kind of slow trot and have this look on his face like, I don't really want to do this. Of course, Storm's like most almost every time, she'll be pretty much be ready to go. Like she wants to run. Especially at the beginning. When we get closer to the end of that mile, she's kind of like, nah, I'll just trot. But this guy here, getting him to go and just trot from the very beginning and getting him going, sometimes he's learned to slow ball it a little bit to save his energy to come home to do what he wants to do with his energy. So, so I got to figure out a way to get him more motivated while we're now. Again, it's much better than just walking because we're still going at a pace where he has to trot. So it's way faster, way more energy expenditure than just me walking him. Of course, as my Con Corso is 6, LOL, and all he does is sleep. So yeah, that's the point. That's kind of the point. And I think is like the sweet spot for your somewhat sedentary families where it's that time of the when they're old enough to kind of chill, spend the whole day not doing a whole lot. You still have to, like I said, you still got to exercise your dogs no matter what they do. But it is nice having a more mature dog where if you don't get out today, if you just don't happen to be outside to play all day long, they'll be fine. And they're not going to do anything. But you got to be careful with them youngsters, man. They need that energy release. So I got him out there. He trotted for a mile and a half. It was still better than nothing. But the point being, while we were out of town, and of course we leave our dogs, they have access to the backyard, so they have access to all of this. We want them to get water, we want them to poop, pee, all that stuff outside the house. And we also, if they do get the need to want to do the zoomies, I mean, and it's fenced in, the whole property's fenced in, so they're not going to necessarily get out. I mean, they would have to require a little bit of help. But they come out here, they run, then they go back inside and they lay down, and that's what we want. Come out here, do your business, go back in the house, and then chill until we get back home. And like I said, we've set the boundaries where they're not allowed to play rough in the house. So we came back home. I think it was like 6:30 or 6 o'clock last night from the game. We had to drive out there quite a bit of ways to the game, but when we got back, everything was everything. Nothing was destroyed, luckily. But I think a lot of that had to do with me just starting the day off with my dogs in mind first, getting burn that energy, letting them have that run. Are you okay, buddy? Looks like he's about to puke or something. Are you okay, buddy? Oh, you didn't got into something. Look at him, guys. He hasn't even had breakfast this morning yet, so he must have ate something out here. You got to be careful out here, guys. There's like little mushrooms and stuff that they can get into. I know with all these, I'm keeping an eye out, see what's in this puke. Looks like it's just a bunch of mucus. I don't see anything specific. We'll keep an eye on him and make sure he's cool. But sometimes they'll just eat a little something they shouldn't, and their body reacts to it, and they have to puke it out. So, okay, now Storm's ready to play. Storm, baby, she just threw up. Chill. He's not ready to play hard like that. She's like, I don't care. He's been playing hard with me all morning. Yeah, I think he's still trying to recover from puking. The other thing that's going on too is that vest I have on him. So you notice I probably have this heavy vest on him. It's about 6 to 8 pounds, and this is just to get him to burn extra calories, extra energy. So every time he walks, it's a lot, a lot more difficult than it was before. And it's not to hurt his limbs or not to make him miserable. It's to burn extra calories. So when they do play, he gets more out of the play than she does. Again, because she's fine. She does her little thing. She runs around, or if we go for a run, she's good. But this guy here, we'll go for that 1.5 mile run, and then he'll come home and then he wants to burn all his real energy. Then he wants to come and play fight and, run around the house, run around, the backyard. And so I'm like, okay, look, if you don't want to, I think he's still shaking. I may take that vest off because I can't tell if it's the vest that's making him shake or if he's still kind of queasy. He may be a little nauseous. We'll keep an eye on him. He seems okay. I don't think I need to take him in or anything, but he just kind of, sometimes your dogs get into little things and irritates their stomach and they have to puke it up. He'll probably be all right. We'll keep an eye on him. But that vest really helps with him. And I don't use it all the time, 24/7. It's only just at times where I want him to burn a little bit more energy. You okay, buddy? He's got slobber all in his face, too. You okay, buddy? You gonna survive? Look at that face, y'all. Man, you gotta love that Connie. If you have never spent a time with Connie Corsos, man, they are impressive animals. And that face is always stoic. I mean, look at that. It's never like a big smile. Like, it's always just like, even if they're like happy and ready to go for it and, they want love, it just looks menacing. Oh, man. But I'll tell you, I've grown to appreciate my Rottweiler as she's matured. She's been a firecracker from the very first time we brought her home. She's been a firecracker. So if anyone's out there that has Rottweilers and has a fiery Rottweiler like I do, just let me know. Give me some validation here, because this girl has been she's wonderful to have, and I'm so grateful that we have her, but she has been a firecracker. If you have a dog like that that's got special needs, you have to adjust, your training tactics. You have to address how you treat them and train them to keep everybody safe. Because with her being such a firecracker, man, she's just high dominance. Baby, that's some dirty water. You want water? Go get some water. Come on. And you guys, I've been working with them to get their own fresh water. That water she was about to drink was from the rain the other day. Go get some water. Go get your water. Watch how easy this is, guys. I feel pretty proud. I think this is gonna happen. Go get some water. But she's been, in her older age, has been such a great dog. Chloe's grandpa says, my Staffy is animal aggressive, so yeah, I get the special needs. So yeah, so when you learn your dog, you've got to like adjust them, and definitely don't put them in situations where they can cause harm to themselves or other dogs. And so even when I take them out to socialize, which I still am really lacking in that. That's one thing I wish I could do more of, or put more emphasis is on re-socializing my dogs. And I don't want to lose the socialization abilities I have with the Connie Corso. Let's see if he follows her. I know you want water. Get you some water. Come on, buddy. Come on. But having those special needs means that, she has to wear a muzzle. Actually, I'm starting to probably muzzle him since it's been a while. Come here, buddy. Get some water. Come here. Put your paw. I know you want some water. Get you some water. Go ahead. Get your water. You don't want it? Is it too cold? Okay. You must be doing it because I'm asking you to do it, not because you want water. Okay. You don't have to get water. Do you want water? No? So yeah, the muzzle really helps. So if you have we're going to call it special needs for for these dogs that are a little bit rowdy and getting into trouble. If you have issues like that and you want to take your dog around people, you want to socialize them, please go ahead and put the muzzle on them. And I think the muzzle does two things. It's great for just make sure that your dog doesn't actually takes out their aggression on other dogs or other people. And also it just gives other people peace of mind. And hey, your dog is maybe barking, but they're not going to be able to bite you. So it kind of calms everybody down. And that's the thing about it is people bring, what do you have, Storm? Baby, what are you chewing at? What is that? Is that a stick? We don't need sticks. I thought you were chewing on that bone. And so they're looking for me to throw it. So I basically kicked my leg out and threw it behind me on the left side. But yeah, so you want to keep people kind of comfortable. The goal is not to take your dog into the store and get everybody uncomfortable, because then next thing you know it, you get all these bad dogs, and then they stop letting us bring the dogs into the stores. So having them, if they got special needs, if they're a little bit aggressive, or if they're doing a lot of barking, the muzzle just kind of gives everyone that visual signal that your dog is. It may be loud, but it's not going to hurt anybody. The other thing that I like about using my muzzle is if I don't fully trust my dog yet with other people, like him, like I said, he hasn't done it in a while. He hasn't been socialized in a while. So I'm probably, the next time he goes out, I probably will muzzle him just until I can have, because the thing about it is they feed off your energy. And if you're too nervous, if you're super, super nervous, then they feel that as well. And they may react just because of the owners being super nervous. So having the muzzle on, if it makes you as an owner a little bit more comfortable. Storm, don't eat acorns, baby. You're going to be puking in a minute too. If the muzzle calms you down, it calms everybody down, it could be a good situation, and that way you can bring your dog, you can put them in that environment that you want them to be desensitized to, and also everyone's comfortable with it. And again, if your dog is not used to being petted by other people, and you're trying to teach your dog socialization skills, having the muzzle oftentimes gives people the signal, oh, maybe your dog is in training, maybe I shouldn't just run up on your dog and just goes, ah, you know what I'm saying, and scare the crap out of your dog, because oftentimes when I have my muzzles on my dogs, people don't immediately just run up to my dog because they see the muzzle and they know there's a reason why there's a muzzle there. So they tend to be a little more more apprehensive. And really the people who are experienced with dogs, Storm, stop eating that. Eat your bone. Like, she's trying to trick me. She's eating acorns while she holds her bone. And she's acting like, oh, I'm just chewing my bone. That's it. And she's all the while eating acorns. But, and so, yeah, only the experienced people. Yeah, so I made a little toy graveyard for them to play with today. So all their favorite toys are right here in the yard, so they can one by one pick them off. But the more experienced people come in, and then they'll or come to your dog in the stores, and they like, oh, you got a muzzle on, is it okay for me to touch him? And so it's a little bit more pleasant experience with your dog and with you as an owner if you're nervous about your dog being out in public. So hey, Drax, man, what's going on? Long time no see. Panda Studios EX, I know who that is. What's going on, man? Jenkins, she loves people. It's just animal. She gets right into kill mode. Ooh, okay, in the middle of muzzle training currently. Yeah, so exactly. So Chloe's grandpa knows what's up, y'all. So he's adjusting to the needs of his dog. And that's what you guys, if you're thinking about getting a dog, a big dog, especially a big one like these, you need to be hyper aware of, how can my dog get into trouble? Again, those little small dogs, if they mess up or if they get out of control, usually you can just kind of pick them up or cuddle, you can get away with it. I don't recommend that. I'm just saying you can do that. And so sometimes people make the mistake that, hey, if I can do that with my little one, little Chihuahua, maybe I could do the same thing with my Rottweiler. And I'm like, no, those dogs are more powerful. They're a little bit more, look at them sitting down like little twins. Look at this. I'm just going to go closer. All right, man. See you when you come back. Nothing's going on, man. But with these big dogs, you have to say, okay, if there's really something I have to adjust to, you got to be ready to make those adjustments if you're going to bring your dog around people. And like I said, for us, muzzles are a must. Have to have the muzzles. Now of course that's a scenario with people like us that are kind of busy and we don't have the time to socialize them every 3 or 4 days. Now if you have the time now, that's a different story. There's some people who have Connie Corsos and Rottweilers so well behaved and so well trained, and it's like they're not gonna do anything outside of what you tell them to do. And I had that experience happen to me. We went to a local outdoor eatery and walked up on a guy in his Connie Corso. I think the Connie Corso was named Bear, and man, Bear was on point. I mean, you would have thought that guy was Caesar Milan the way that dog was well behaved. Obviously that's the goal, but if you don't have the time to put into that, then you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? And so that brings up a good point. How much time do you have to devote to making sure your dog is trained, or at least in a way where they're not going to hurt themselves or hurt you or hurt anyone else? You know, and oftentimes training is really about that. It's making sure you have a well-adjusted pack where everyone's safe. Chloe Grandpa says, yeah, I have to separate my house with doors and locks like it's a prison. Yeah, you got to make adjustments. And if you can get your dog where they're perfectly behaved like Bear was that time when we met that Cane Corso, and it was impressive, guys. I mean, we walked up and, we know not to just run up on the dog without asking, without making sure it's okay and make sure the dog is good with people. But the owner recognized that we wanted to say hello to his dog, and he says, y'all want to say hello to Bear? And we were like, yeah, let's say. And so he goes, Bear, go say hi. The dog gets up from his side, walks slowly to us, and walks in front of us for love and pets. We pet him, and then he says, Bear, come here. And Bear walked right back to where his owner was and sat down. It was like, wow. It was one of those moments where we're like, maybe we should do more work with our dog. But it was great. He had clearly put in the time, clearly had done the right things to make sure his dog was well behaved. And it led up to a situation where he's able to trust his dog in public without even having to worry about any leash or even without any muzzle. But, that doesn't happen magically. You you see that, and the first thing you should think of is, man, how much time has he devoted to making sure his dog is appropriately trained to be able to do that? And if you want that same situation, how much time are you willing to put in? And in our case, being still like working family, where we got the dogs, we have the time to make sure they're safe, make sure they're fed and they can play and get everything they need. But the extra time that you need for like all the specific training, that we were kind of lacking in. And so again, we do the best that we can. We start off strong. We start off giving them boundaries. We start off making sure that they learn basic commands, making sure that they know what we expect from them, where to poop pee, and where to play and not play. So those things are very, very important, and we got those down pat. But were we able to socialize our dogs from start to finish every single day, every single week, or so they can be happy with everybody? No, that's where we got off a little bit off track on that. And there's reasons behind it. I mentioned it before, and I'll maybe go down that line in just a second. A lot of time, but the alternative is putting her down and having the understanding that it takes a ton of time to get over the natural special needs. Yeah, exactly. So, and that's the thing. You don't want that, because if you get a big dog at this age, at 2 years old, a big Cane Corso that's 100, and I don't know how much he weighs, probably about 135. He's getting up there. If you wait till this size and this age to start doing any training with him, he's going to be used to being in control. He's going to definitely bite somebody, a neighbor. He's going to go get out the gate, go bite a neighbor. And when that happens, your dog is pretty much gone, because once they file the report, your dog's going to be put down. And that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to have a situation. I know in San Antonio, there was a couple of news stories that were being broadcast, I want to say last year, where there's some pit bulls had gotten out and attacked and killed somebody. And the first thing I think of is, man, where were those owners? They did not train those dogs. They didn't make sure that they were secure and safe. They were just kind of like maybe an afterthought, you know. And I'm not, and the thing about it is accidents do happen. I'm not saying that you can control everything, because there are situations where, like I said, we lost her brother, and that hurt me for a long time. You've been here on the channel, you've heard me talk about this before. We lost her brother due to a collar accident, and I thought we had it all under control. My dogs at that point, I think they were about a year. We had survived puppyhood. We had survived a move. We had survived everything. We had the fence. We had the training. And of course, the puppy Rottweilers, we socialized them all the time. My wife and I were always at the dog parks. We were at the stores. They were just having the time of their life. We took them on vacation. Those little cute little Rottweilers that we had went everywhere. We had it. We had it all. And then, so we moved here. We had the collars on her now. Again, she's always been aggressive, and we didn't catch it. We didn't catch it in time. She's like, "What are you talking about? You preaching at me?" You're okay, baby. I'm talking to the audience. You're okay, sweetie. Okay, baby. She's like, "Are you preaching to me? I didn't do nothing wrong, did I?" It's okay, baby. But we didn't catch it in time. And what happened was they were both wearing their collars. And when we first moved here, it was all sand back here. This is sod, what you see now. This is me putting in grass, but it was sand. And so with the collars that they had, they were going to, the other thing, they were going to daycare. They went to a place called Camp Bow Wow. And in Camp Bow Wow, one of the rules is the collars that the dogs wear has to be a pinch to release collar. And so they had those pinch to release collars on them. She had on the blue one, he had on the red one. And anyway, so we moved out here. They had the collars on them. They play a lot in the sand. Back here was sand everywhere. And so we didn't realize that the collar was getting impacted with sand. With that, Stormy, what are you eating on? Nope, no sticks. Oh my gosh, girl, this is like a stick haven for you. Come here, sweetie. Go get your bone. Are you side-eyeing me? Okay. All right, get your bone. You got some other toys. You want to play toy? Huh? Oh, you want some love. That's what you want. You want love. Okay. I give you some love. Well, this sweet dog would always challenge her brother, just like she does with Rain. Just challenge. Just all day, all night long. And so she would bite on the collar, like the collar here. She would bite on it like this, and she would just yank the collar, right? Well, then she got twisted on the collar, and then, of course, the collar around her brother, it started choking him out. And this happened while we were at work. And my son was here studying, but he didn't catch it in time. So when he heard all the commotion, and of course, her brother was trying his best to get away, and he couldn't get away. And unfortunately, we lost him. My son he finally found some branch clippers to basically cut the collar off his neck. And, he called me while it was happening. And of course, I'm freaking out at work because I'm like, please get the collar off his neck. Get the collar off his neck. I'm like dang near falling apart, because it was, it's not something I was expecting. I was not expecting that my dogs would get tangled up in their own collars. And, of course, he didn't survive. And I can't really blame her. I mean, because she's being herself. We've tried our best to correct her aggressive behaviors, but that's just the way she is. From day one, guys, I've got a video where I'm correcting her and her brother as little bitty tiny puppies. Like, no. But she just has a more dominant personality. So if your dog has a more dominant personality, you got to work with that. You got to work with that, and then try to minimize all the risks as possible. So if I could go back in time, I would definitely take away those collars. Take away those collars. When they're at home and they're playing around, definitely take away all those collars. And you can see my dogs never wear collars unless we're about to go outside or go to the store or go to the vet, whatever. That's the only time they wear collars. But when they're outside playing, I don't want the collar get hung on anything, because there's so many things out here that the collar can get hung on. You know what I'm saying? Just everywhere. It's like a danger zone for collars in our backyard. So I take them off. they're fine. They're chipped as well. All my dogs, if they ever were to get out, which most people probably wouldn't want to approach a stop, baby, get a bone. Probably wouldn't want to approach a big dog like this. But if they happen to approach a big dog like this, what are you eating? No, you're gonna start puking, girl. I gotta take this out of her mouth. Come here, girl. Let me have it. Let me have it. Nope. Let me have it. Come here. Open up. What you got? What do you got? Did you eat it already? You didn't eat. You ate, girl. You're gonna start puking in a minute. Here, eat your bone. Where's your bone at? You know where your bone's at? You want a toy? No, you were laying on top of it. Yeah, get your bone. There you go. That's better. So those things, you can be as prepared as possible, but sometimes things slip by you. So I don't want to blame owners. I'm not trying to make everyone, because there is a tendency to make, anything happens, the owner is going to, it's the owner's fault, it's the owner's fault. Yes, in most cases, if you're not thinking it all through, and that's why it's up to you to definitely do your research. Watch the people that are you still eating? Oh, girl, you're going to be puking in a minute. There's like 1,000 sticks out here. But accidents do happen, so you want to minimize as much as that as possible. So all it takes is one slip and a split second. That's all it takes, Chloe's grandpa. That's all it takes is just a split second for something to go bad. And I couldn't do anything from my job. I work literally 35, 40 minutes away. I was completely depending on my son to get that collar off, and he did his absolute best. But too many things going on wrong. One is the collars were impacted. He couldn't release the collar, and then he couldn't find the branch clippers in time to cut the collar. Or first of all, he had to think about it first. He had to think about the branch clippers, and then he finally was able to get the collar off. But by the time he got the collar off the dog, we had lost him. And so, anyways, so yeah. So just in case, if you're not aware that if you have big dogs and they are in their backyard, those collars you can have a situation where they can hurt themselves. And Shelly24 says, my partner always tells me to keep the collar on a dog, but I'd rather him be free for collarless. Yes. So yeah, Shelly, I'm sorry, not Shelby, but Shelly, that's exactly what I advocate. I say, look, if you don't have to have the collar on, in a place where they can't get out. You know what I'm saying? Like here in my backyard, it's all fenced in. So in the event they do get out, they are chipped though. They do have chips in them. So if they ever get to a vet, they can know where they belong and who they belong to. And of course, my community pretty much know my dogs because we walk in the community. We always post on the community front of the Facebook page. So pretty much they know, they see these two dogs, they'll know who they are, who they belong to. And the other thing too is my dogs, they've with us walking a lot in the neighborhood, they know their way back home. And there's been a couple times, guys, rare instances where we left the gate open and our dogs just kind of just sit there and looked at it. They didn't even go anywhere. So fingers crossed, man. I'm telling you, accidents. It's kind of like what Chloe's grandpa just said. It takes a split second for something to go wrong, and you just have to adjust. You do everything you can to mitigate, but after that, trust the training and roll with it. What bones are those? These are good question. My wife bought these bones from Walmart or either that or a Tractor Supply store, and they're usually filled with like peanut butter or something like that. And then of course the bone lasts forever because these things are hard. You do have to be careful though with when it comes to long bones. Hard long bones like this because you don't want to break their teeth. You want something that they can actually chew into. So it's just you got to be careful with these. Even and of course if you're doing raw too, that's the other thing. We started to do raw food diet with our dogs, and one of the things they do recommend is not getting those heavy weight bearing bones to your dogs because they're not necessarily great for their teeth. But we like those kind of bones because with them filled with peanut butter or whatever they put into the side of those bones, it creates a nice little challenge for them to get into it. So it's a mentally stimulating thing for them to do. So I have to get the exact brand from my wife when she wakes up. But I think we get them from either Walmart or Tractor Supply store. But anyways, and so I was feeding my boy the raw hide bones, but they were hurting his belly. So yeah. So Shelly, we do not do the raw hide stuff. They don't digest very well. So we try to stay away from that. We replace those with pig ears. So if you can get a hold of those pig ears, they're easily digestible. They can chew through it. And those pig ears are great. You know, my dogs love them. That's our parting away treat for them. So that, you know, we'll give them the pig ear. Or if we want them to go in their kennels, we usually reward them with pig ears. They go in the kennel, they get the pig ears. And so Chloe's grandpa says, yeah, I have gotten in the habit of putting on harnesses and a muzzle just to walk my beast through the house to go out, simply for the safety for all four of my dogs. Yep. You got to do what you got to do. You know, if you know one dog is going to be a little more aggressive, whatever, and you got to make sure that they're, you know, more secure than the rest, you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I mean, there may be some ways to do some training with them, but at least to keep everybody safe, you know, if that's the best way to go about doing it, go for it. So yeah, my dog can't get out of my backyard, thankfully. Yeah, that's nice. So if that's the case, if he can't get out, you know, do you really need the collar on him? And you know, again, we've had dogs for a while now, and usually it's one dog. So I think with one dog, the collars are probably less likely a problem. Look who's here. What up, little Missy? What up, little Missy? I'm gonna get the other one jealous. Rain, back up. Rain, move, move. So I'm trying to prevent the jealousy from going on whenever I pet the little one. So you see Storm, look at her. Because they get, no ma'am. No ma'am. We're not gonna have a hissy fit because I'm petting the little one. Yes. That's happened on camera a couple times where Missy's out here getting love and those other two start going wild, crazy. So I'm blocking that from happening again. Because everybody can get love in the house without people getting hurt and getting mad. Okay, there we go. Good job. Good job. See, there she goes. Now she's going to retaliate. Storm, come here. There we go. You get your love too. Everybody's cool. Keep my eye on you, girl. Good. You see, even her hackles are up. She's so jealous. That's one of her attributes. The Rottweiler is extremely emotional and jealous. So I have to be careful with her. Make those adjustments with your dogs, man. You gotta learn your dog, and you gotta make those adjustments. Okay, let me go back to the comments. They are beautiful. They are no better. They know better. Yeah, they do. Cool things. I'm looking for something like this. Yes, fences are great, but training your dog with the fence etiquette is important. Yes. Morgan says hi. What's going on, Morgan? Draxman didn't go anywhere because you trained him. Yes, sir. Is that a Connie Corso? Yes. Thank you for the info. Yes. I get cow hoof slices for my dogs as a special treat. Yeah. So yeah, once you find something that they like and it's healthy for them, man, you just use that to your advantage. Two beauties. Another one. Yes. You got to use what works with your dogs, you know, and not every dog's gonna be motivated by the same things. You know, some dogs are motivated by toys. Some dogs are motivated by certain treats. Some dogs are just motivated by your love and your touch, your affection. So you use that to your advantage when it comes to training. You say, listen, if you want this, I'll give it to you, but I'm expecting you to earn that. You know, I think that's one of the things that I didn't realize when I first got a dog a long time ago is that your dog needs to earn everything that you kind of give them that they love. Use that to your advantage to make them, you know, be the dog that they need to be, the dog that you need them to be. You know, whether it's for their safety, whether it's for having a better adjusted dog, those things are necessary because, again, these are animals. These are animals. They're not people. And you don't treat them like people. You know, like you know how we appease each other. We're like, well, if I give my friend this, they'll be more nice. They'll be nicer to me or whatever. Which oftentimes doesn't necessarily work either. But the point is that they don't interpret things the way humans interpret things. So for them, being given something is, you know, it needs to be associated with a task. You know, if you ask them, even if it's something simple as just sit down, you know, just sit, and then they get rewarded for that. And that establishes that relationship of being the pack leader and them being a lower member of the pack. And you need that because that's for your safety. Because if your dogs don't see you as their pack leader, they will inherently take over that spot. And then they will be telling you what to do and how to get there and why. And you don't want that. So use whatever they like, use that to your advantage to train them. Say, look, I am the provider of everything that you love, and I'd love to give it to you. No problem. I have no problem giving you the things that you love, except I need you to realize that I'm the alpha leader, I'm the pack leader. And there are things that you must do, which is behave, not get into trouble. You know, don't run off when I call for you, or sit when I ask you to, or come when I ask you to. Those things are required for your own safety. So I'm going to use whatever you love to my advantage to make sure you learn those skills. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm preaching. I'm going to start saying, somebody shout amen in the building. Somebody say, yeah, yes. Oh, man. Yeah, so Shelly, those pig ears are amazing. We love them. We have our pig ears delivered from Chewy, and we get the big, huge box because those guys run through those pig ears. They run through them, and we try to do like at most one or two per day. So they're not like chewing them all the time. But I'm just saying they don't ever turn it down. Is what I'm saying. They love them. Bribery is Storm. Let me pull on his neck. Stormy. That's all she does all day long is pull, pull, pull. And that's what I meant by with her and her brother, you know, because that's her go-to. This is her go-to. Right to the neck. She goes right to the neck. She's not pulling too hard right now. So he's not all that bothered by it. But sometimes she does get a little too aggressive with that pulling, and she will break the skin. But that's just her nature, you know. Hey, y'all don't involve Missy. Most of it's kind of like very, very like small nip bites. Missy, that's okay, Missy. They got it. Missy's trying to regulate them. She's like, settle down. Now she's using it to sniff her. You know, most of this is play, but it can turn in a minute. And that's why Missy's kind of on them, like cut it down, cut the energy down. She's trying to get them to calm down. She's doing my job for me, essentially. But yeah, this is her in a playful mood right now. It's a standoff, y'all. But he's also, a lot of his play is a little bit abated right now. So he's not going full force because I have on that vest, and that's why I have it on him. I'm calming him down, making him calm down just a hair. Because every time he jumps, it's like a workout for him. So he'll be nice and tired by the time they get done playing. Yeah, it's definitely just playing, but it can turn for the worse. So I try my best to keep an eye on her. Like if he gets frustrated enough with all the, and it's mainly her. She's the one that gets frustrated the most. You know, because he's bigger, and so that's why Missy's like calming her down. Missy's after her, not him. She's trying to tell her, calm your energy down, because he's not doing all that. It's her. But there you go. Good job, Missy. That's how you be alpha dog. But yeah, this vest is working perfectly. You can hear him panting. So yeah, they're just playing, but I regulate their play. So I say, look, you can play up to a certain point, but the moment somebody starts getting too serious and they really are trying to take it out on the other one, that's when I jump in and like, nah, we're not doing all that. We're not here to hurt each other. Yeah, and that's been the balance, and that's one of the reasons why we got a Cane Corso. And it was kind of what I was leading up to earlier. We lost her brother, and he was a beautiful Rottweiler, guys. I really never seen a Rottweiler like her brother, and he was just that large blockhead. You know, she has one of those slender heads. We always argue about whether that's the American style Rottie versus the German, whatever. So she has that more slender Doberman look to her face, but he had that traditional blockhead German Rottweiler, which you think just the amazing temperament. That kid, that guy was just solid, absolutely solid. And hopefully he doesn't pee on top of her. Okay, good. He waited. Good. That was good. Whew. Because last time he peed, he got too impatient. He wanted to pee on top of her, and he didn't even wait till she was finished. He peed on my dog. He peed on Storm, and I had to go. I had to go wash her off, man. Missy's definitely the alpha, Drax man. What's up, John? John Mitchell, what's going on with it? Yeah, my dog doesn't play. She straight goes for blood. Yeah, that's Stormy. If you want water, go get some water. Don't drink that. That's bad water. Go get some water. Get some fresh water. Go get water. No, 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 no. Okay, we don't want to get rid of this, actually. Okay. Come on, let's go get some water. I know you're thirsty. Come here. I think I might need to do some repairs on their water fountain because it's not coming out. Here, you know what? Let's shortcut it. We'll give you some out of this. Here, get you some water. Hey, you wait your turn, buddy. Hey, you wait your turn. Nope, you wait. Hey. He's like, I want to get some from the bottom then. All right, there you go. You want some? What's wrong with you, girl? That's all those acorns you were eating. You want some water? Oh, now she wants to play. So I'm going to go ahead and let her play with the water hose. I know it's like probably 30, it's probably about 40 degrees, but she don't care, y'all. This dog doesn't care. She loves her some water. Okay. You done? Well, she's not done. She's trying to do a sneak attack on me. I knew it. She's trying to do a sneak attack. Oh yeah, Aiden. It's been a long time. Now that you reminded me, how you been, man? I do remember. It's been a while though. So yeah, I love it when you guys come on. So you can help. Hey, it's like I can have some free critiquing, free critiquing, and also I like it when trainers come on because they can fill in a lot of the gaps. Because like I said, I'm not a personal trainer. I don't do this for a living. So I like having people that can come in and fill in those gaps for me. Because it's nice sharing that information. It makes the channel more valuable when you have people that are professionals like you guys. But so Aiden, what is your thoughts on? We were talking about collars, and so my rule is, and I'm kind of preaching not to wear collars, and when they're in a safe environment like the backyard like this, and especially with these big dogs, not to wear their collars. So what is your advice typically? Hey, what's going on, Casper? Look, I don't know what he's doing over there. Yo, that rider looks like exactly like mine. Yeah. So does Tyson, does your Rottweiler have more of a slender head like mine or more of that big blockhead look to him. Yeah, so if y'all probably haven't noticed, or maybe even Aiden hadn't noticed, or have noticed that my Rottweiler's lost a little bit of weight, and she's been a lot more agile, a lot more agile with both. That's cool, Tyson. Yes, yes. So, yeah, exactly. That's correct, Aiden. I was saying the only time my dogs do wear their collars is whenever we're going out in public. Well, they're always leashed. I'll never have them where they're just free reigning. You know, I don't have my dogs completely trained like that. And I told a story earlier about this local dog, it's a Cane Corso named Bear. And Bear is one of those dogs that is so well trained that that dog was not even on a leash. And so the owner was like, so he saw us walking up and he's like, do you want to touch, you want to play with Bear? And we're like, yeah. So Bear left by his side on his command and walked over and let us pet him. And then he was like, come here. And then Bear just walked, got up and walked back to right where he was and sat back down. So that dog was so well trained that he didn't even have a leash on that dog. Now, my dogs, on the other hand, we're going to have a leash on. We're going to have a collar on when we're out and about, just because I don't have that level of control, you know. And usually that's just time commitment, how much time do you have to make sure your dog can do that? So Tyson, you have two of them as well. So yeah, it sounded like the way we had two. We had a male and a female Rottweiler, and then of course with the loss of our male Rottweiler, we waited a few months and we got the Cane Corso. We went a little bit bigger. That was our goal. Is that since she's going to be more rough dog, we wanted a dog that can handle all of her rough shenanigans. And he's been great for her. He really has. He's been good. It's a great playmate, and can handle all of her rough play. Yeah, exactly. So Tyson, do they play rough like my dog does? Is the female a little more aggressive, kind of like more? I say aggressive, but probably the word is dominant. She's just really, really a dominant dog. Is your female more dominant than the male? I'm still not confident enough to take my dog out in public yet. Yeah, so Chloe's grandpa. So that's why, like we were talking about earlier about wearing that muzzle. You know, sometimes if you're not comfortable, your dog will pick up on that too. You know what I'm saying? If you feel nervous and you have an interaction, they're gonna react to, you being nervous and the situation. So it's a delicate process, and that's where I'm at. So Chloe's grandpa, whenever I socialize her, I'm always like, she's got on her collar, or actually, I use a prong collar with her. She's got on a prong collar. She has on a muzzle, and she's right beside me. And my goal is just to get her near people and not freak out. Nobody has to touch her. All I care about is that she's out and about and not freaking out. That should be a T-shirt. Out and about and not freaking out. um, Yeah, so yeah, I'd say that your dog is dominant, aggressive, is way more action, different action. Yeah, yeah, I think so too. It's more dominant. When you see these two are playing, she's like, I'm gonna be initiating this uh, play, and I'm gonna come out on top. You know what I mean? And then when he bests her, and she knows she's outgunned, she waits till he's done, and then when he tries to walk away, she tries to capitalize on him walking away and says, no, actually I'm more dominant. To us it's like a sucker punch. You know what I mean? The wait till you aren't, when you finally say, when he's like, you good, are you good, are you submitting, he's telling her, are you submitting, and she doesn't say anything, and he's like, all right, okay, you're good, and then he walks away, and then she goes and tries to get him from behind. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of say, you know what, you may have gotten me, but I'm still more dominant. You know? With the exception of, well, let me tell you what happened the other. This is her name is Storm, and he's Rain, And where's Missy at? And the little dog that you saw earlier, her name is Missy. So Storm and Rain. Of course, that's the name of the channel. It's Storm and Rain. But so let me tell you about the other night. So Storm, her and I are kind of like bonded. She's kind of imprinted on me, and she respects everybody in the household. But for some reason, I've always been. Maybe it's more like she sees me as kind of a more, I guess, and I don't act dominant around my house, but maybe she sees me as the most dominant pack leader, and so she's gravitated to that power. I guess I don't know. I'm making stuff up, but anyway, she's more bonded to me than anyone else in the household, and of course, her brother was more bonded to my daughter, which so my daughter took it pretty hard when we lost him. We all did. I cried for days. I cried for days the loss of my male Rottweiler. But anyways, this girl here sleeps right beside me, like not in the bed, because we don't allow that. We don't get into beds. So her bed is right next to where I sleep at on the floor. And of course, a little bit further away from her, Rain has his bed. But for some reason, Rain has slowly been creeping into to her space at nighttime. And so one morning I woke up to her crying. My Rottweiler was in the corner crying behind her bed, and I'm like, what is wrong with my Rottweiler? She never does this. And of course I looked in her bed, and of course there's this big Connie Corso just sprawled all out on top of her bed. And I was like, boy, if you don't get out of my Rottweiler's bed. He had just taken over her bed. Legs were everywhere, and she felt helpless, and I felt so sorry for him. So I told him to get out of his bed and go in his bed, and she laid down. So for some reason, she's dominant up until bedtime, and then when bedtime comes, I guess he's the most dominant. So, anyways, that happened the other night. So Aiden says, yes, that is normal. I have one Connie Corso and Rottweiler. Yes, you are correct. And it's because Rain wants to be closer to her. That may be true, actually. Like, he keeps coming to her, but if he takes over the bed, because whenever I woke up, his legs were all over the bed. She had no room. She was in the back of the bed, up against the wall, just sitting there crying. And that's how I woke up, is because I heard her whimpering. And she looked like she was helpless. And the moment that I moved, look at that face, y'all. Can y'all see his face? It's probably too far. Look at that. Come here, Bobster. This looks so menacing. Come here, buddy. Like, if you didn't know this dog, this would freak you out, y'all. This would literally freak you out. Let me get down. Oh, there you go. Hey, big boy. My Connie Corso is very protective of my sick wife, lays with her constantly. Wow. Yeah, these dogs definitely can choose a partner, and they can choose a parent, or choose a human alpha to just kind of be their favorite. Like I said, she just kind of chose me. Like, my wife always says she adores you. I don't quite see it like that, but I do know that she does have a huge amount of respect for me. And again, it's not that she doesn't respect my wife or my daughter, because we demand that. I want to make sure every human pack member is above the dogs. That is the rule around the house. Nobody, because if not, we saw what happened. We've seen what happens whenever a family member doesn't take their spot as a alpha leader. These dogs will take advantage of that. They can tell when you're sick. Wow. I think so. I think these dogs can smell things that humans can't. They have senses, or their abilities are a lot different than ours. And I'm sure if they can smell like the cortisol from fear, when you're scared, I'm sure that you're giving off some smell if you're sick, that they can smell and tell that something's not right. Yeah. Arky Dunsk, long time no see. How are you? I love those. You always do that, and you do the thing. I love it. Storm. She's so vocal and loud. He's burning a lot of energy with that vest on. Okay, here comes Missy, guys. Missy's gonna come save the day. Come save the day. We did another standoff. He is so. Oh, be careful, y'all. That's the reason why. Oh, Missy's gonna step in. Missy is entering in the building. So she respects Missy. You see how she kind of calms down with her, like, okay, you know. But I'm always afraid of Missy getting in the middle and getting hurt. That vest really calms him down a lot. Like, he's not as active as he normally is. He's still playing, which is what I want. I want him to play so he can burn more calories. Like, all that running he's doing with the vest on is great right now. And we're not going to go for a run, so we're not going to be doing a mile on the golf cart. So this is pretty much his exercise for today. Okay, is Missy still correcting over there? And Storm's got a lot of energy. And the nice thing about her is she'll be okay after this. When we go back in and eat breakfast, they're gonna just clunk out on the couch. Play fighting keeps dogs engaged and helps them learn their body language of other canines. Love it. And that was from Aiden. Tyson says, "How many dogs do you have?" I got those 3, just those 3. And then Chloe says, "Yeah, I spend my days training a killer and caring for my wife, but I have plenty of time for training." That's awesome, Chloe. Chloe's grandpa, you got your hands full, man. You definitely have your hands full. But kudos to you for not giving up, man. Keep fighting. And then Aiden says again, play fighting keeps dogs engaged and helps them learn about it. Okay, yes. Absolutely. So yeah, that's the other thing. Keeping your dogs engaged and keeping them mentally stimulated, it's a job. You know what I'm saying? You've got to keep that. That's why we have all the different types of toys. I know you're thirsty. Go get some water. Go get some water. Rain, I know you're thirsty too. Go get some water. Go to your water fountain. Go get water. She wants me to shortcut it. No, we're not doing that. I want you to go get your fountain. Go to your fountain. Come on. That's the other reason why I like doing stuff like this, because it's more of a mental stimulation for them to learn how to do this. I'm gonna see if I can turn it up a little bit. Turn up the volume. It's okay. You can drink. I think I need to clean out the line or something, because it's kind of a slow. I mean, they're getting water out of it, but it's kind of a slow. Yeah, she wants more water, I think. I got to do some repairs, but I love this thing. I think it's a great little tool to have, a great little thing for them to drink water from. Play fighting keeps dogs engaged. Okay, I read that already. Especially if you had to keep them separate 24/7. Yeah, you got your hands full. You definitely got your hands full. I have one Cotty Corso, one Rottweiler, and one. And I am a dog trainer, so they are so trained. So yeah, see, Aiden, that's what I was talking about. I think, if you are a dog trainer, you could probably get your dogs like on point. Like, they could probably walk around right next to. I've seen one guy walk into a store with the dog off leash, right in the heel position, the entire time. The dog never left their side. And I will say this: when you have 2 dogs, sometimes it makes it a little more difficult because, oh, I'm sorry, he wants water too. Come on, buddy. I know you want water. Come here. Come get some water. I know you're thirsty. Because sometimes one dog, if you can get one dog to do something and the other one kind of counteracts you and kind of distracts the other one, it makes it a little more difficult to train both, especially at the same time. So sometimes you have to get some water. Get some water. Get your water. Sometimes I'm better off like separating the 2 and training them individually, because when you get one of the dogs, to do what you say do. The other one runs off or tries to, do something contrary. And then while you're trying to correct the second dog, the first dog gets off track. You know what I mean? So it's like you're bouncing between them, and they're basically trying to destroy your whole training thing. So if you have the ability to train them together, that's an amazing thing. So sometimes I do separate them and say, all right, you know what, you're going to be inside the house, and I'm only going to work with you. But every now and then I do get it where I can train them both together. I did on camera a couple streams ago where I trained all three out here in the backyard. I was using training treats, and we were working on just basic stuff like sit, stay, and all that good stuff. And then little Missy kept destroying my training every time. She would not obey, and I'm fussing. And the other thing is the other dogs, they're reacting to me fussing at the little one, so they're getting all agitated, and it just was a disaster. Chloe's grandpa says, "Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm learning as I go." That's all right. But the main thing, Chloe grandpa, is that you're still learning. That's the thing. Some people just don't even care, man. They don't even try to train their dogs. Hunter, long time no see. What's going on? And then Abe says, "Yes, I have to do the same sometimes." Yeah. So if you're struggling and you have multiple dogs, just try to go ahead and maybe put one or two in the kennel, and you work with that one individual dog, and then try slowly to work them all together, train them all together rather. But yeah, that was a funny little thing. Missy kept on destroying my training sessions. But I will say though, one of the things that I'm working with my mother, my mother-in-law, is my hope is that I can get them more used, because they're kind of not comfortable around Rain, and with Rain for good reason, because she actually had an incident. My mother-in-law had an incident with Rain, but my goal is to try to start somewhere in the future to get them to interact again. And the way I want to start with them is I want to start her walking him, because I feel like walking is a amazing training tool. There's a lot of skills that go into properly walking your dog. I spent most of my beginning days with both of my dogs walking them. And that's where I, give them that cue that I am their pack leader. I'm giving them that signal that you follow my directions. And so it's like a training for them, and it's also training for me as their pack leader, learning how to walk with confidence, learning how not to be nervous, learning how to, so I'd probably say it's probably 60%, training me, and then 40% the dogs, you know what I mean? And so if I can get them just walking him, that will help with their fear of being around him, and that would help him to start seeing them as pack leaders, and that's what we need. So let me get back to the comments. Nothing much seeing you live. I haven't seen you. I know, man. Hunter's been a good while. Tyson says my dogs are dumb. We try to train them, but they are only learn how to sit and shake. You know what, Tyson? You don't have to have like a dog doing all these tricks and stuff like that. You just need a dog that can do basic things. Walking with your dogs, like I was saying, is a huge training thing. Recall, if you can get them to come when you ask them to, but you don't have to do a whole lot. The more the better, but sometimes get the basics is great. Just get the basics down. You know what I mean? Chloe's grandpa says, "Yeah, no one is comfortable around my terrorist." Same with my dog, Tyson. Aiden says, "Yes. Right now I'm training a soon-to-be police canine named Rain." Wow. Ooh, and is that a typo, or is that really how you spell the name? Reighn? Is it with an H? But yeah, so I mean, people think that sometimes you have to have your dogs doing backflips and jumping through hoops, and I'm like, that's not necessarily all you need. As a matter of fact, it's probably not what you need from the beginning. What you really need is just, can you walk your dog with your dog not pulling you down the street? Can you walk your dog with your dog at the heel position? Or, in our case, it's not even at really truly at heel, it's by my side. The idea being that my dog is taking direction and lead from me and not the other way around. Even though my dog is not in the perfect heel position, like little Missy, She's definitely not in the perfect heel. But with Missy, she's easy to train. I mean, I can kind of get her right back in line. Right now, we've in her older age, we've kind of let her be a little more independent, which is probably a mistake because she is a ringleader. If she gets off track, then the other ones get off track too. So, FYI, if you know the one that's causing all the problems in your pack, like a little one like this, if you don't control that little one, the other ones are gonna get gonna feed off of that energy. Is that right? No, a rain we spell REIGN without the H for our dog. But right now I'm training as soon as, okay, oh, read that already. They came to me when I say their name. That's good. So recall is super important. And it's one of those things where you kind of have to keep it going because recall comes and goes. If you watch me and Rain, sometimes Rain will be the one that kind of ignore my recall. And so we have to go back to the basics sometimes. We go bring treats out here and we call. And if you come when I ask you to come, we give you the treat. Real basic, real simple, but it's an important skill, right? Because they're learning to follow your direction. They're learning to come, even though, and again, that's hard for a dog. Think about it. If your dog is motivated by he's falling asleep, y'all. He's bored. It's like, Dad, you're boring me. Really what it is that vest is tiring him out a bit. But anyways, just having, come here, Storm, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? You want to go for a run? That's what she wants. So what was I saying? I was talking about recall, right? Just having your dog come when you ask them to, and it's very difficult for a dog. If they're motivated by Storm, what is that? Baby. Is that one of my wood pieces? No, that's not something for you to chew on. Go find a toy. Come on, let's go get a toy. You want a toy? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, weird girl. The other thing, you call one, the other one gets up. Another challenge with having multiple dogs is they start associating one dog with something good. So if I call one dog and they get something good, I might as well go too because I'll get a benefit. I'll get the benefit as well. And so working to separate them when I call them has been a challenge. And so the way I do that is have the treats. Use the treats. And so when I call one person, you don't get the treat if your name wasn't called. You need to go back and sit down. And so to kind of separate the two, so they don't associate a treat with the other dog's name being called. You should get a teething stick. Okay, what is that? Is that like those little greenies, the greenies that they chew on for like the dental thing? Oh, Tyson, right now it's 9:48. So I'm in Central Time Zone. I live in Texas. Oh no. Okay, well I don't know what the teething stick is. Let me screenshot that. I'll look that up real quick. Screenshot. Gotta love having trainers, y'all. If you can get if you ever run into some trainers, man, they're great resources. Okay, so for you it's 10:48. So you guys must be on the East Coast area. Tyson, excuse me. Yeah, in the East Coast, y'all are an hour ahead of us. 9:48. Were you okay? So you're in the same Tyson or Aiden. You're in the same time zone as Ohio. Yeah, the funny thing about Texas is we have two different time zones in Texas. We have most of Texas is Central Standard Time, but if you live out in El Paso, right at the very tip of Texas, going west, they actually are an hour behind us. It's kind of weird. But anyway, so training your dogs to separately come when you ask them to it can be taught, but right now you can see if I call one dog, the other one just shows up because they're like, whatever you're going to give that other dog, it's got to be something good, so I'm coming. But it can be annoying because you're like, I just need one dog, not the other one. Yeah, that big boy. But anyway, so I'm gonna put a plug out there. So I'm gonna, eventually, I've been saying this for like 2 weeks now, but we are going to have a one-on-one with Ozzy the Cane Corso. I've been using streaming services now where I can have guests come on the show, and it has been successful so far. We've had at least one great guest come on, and if you guys were here for that live, I think it was 2 weeks ago. We did one where we had a guest named Kashan, who has a Rottweiler, and he was able to come on and show us a little bit about how he trains his dog, and it was a really cool interaction. So we're gonna have more of that coming, more of those one-on-ones where the audience can come on and cut those cameras on, let us see those beautiful dogs y'all have. I know y'all got some good ones out there. So I can't do it when I use like today I'm using the YouTube app. The only reason why I'm not is the YouTube app is a little bit more streamlined, so it doesn't require, I can move around all over my yard. It doesn't need as much data. So that means I can go away from my router and still stream, whereas those streaming services, man, I'm glued to that thing over there. That's my router, outdoor router. I'm glued to that thing. So you'll see most of the show or most of the live stream. I keep calling it a show. I guess it's a show, whatever you want to call it. I do most of it over here because I'm stuck to this router. So I'm like watching my dogs, and of course they run off somewhere and I can't follow them. But I think it's worth it if I can get people to come on and share their experiences with their dogs. And I'm looking for those people that have all those exotic dogs that you hear about that you never see. That's the stuff that I really want to come on to the show. But in the meantime, I am going to have Ozzy the Cane Corso. If I don't know if you guys are familiar with, I think Draxman, or you know Ozzy the Cane Corso, right? Their station, they're pretty big. They have almost 200,000 subscribers, so they're a pretty big channel. And she's got 5 dogs. 5. Let me count them in my head. I'm counting them in my head. I'm sorry, guys. 1, 2. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4 Cane Corsos and 2, so that's 6 dogs, and 2 pit bulls. And anyway, so she's gonna be coming on and kind of sharing her experience and showing her dogs, and I'm looking forward to that. She's also my coworker, and great person, great personality, great training. I learned a lot from her. We're having her on. We're both going to be streaming together. So she's got tons of people from her station, and she doesn't do lives. She normally does just regular videos, and they're very great educational videos where you go in. She all of her experience that she's gathered from raising, I guess, 5 Cane Corsos at this point, 4 or 5 Cane Corsos, and anyway, she has a wonderful, successful channel. She's coming on. We're going to do a dual live stream. And if you have any questions for what it's like having multiple Cane Corsos as a female, a single female, by the way, she does this all by herself. Very, very impressive. And hopefully she'll give us a lot of tips. And if you have any questions you want to ask her, I think it'll be a great time to come on. I'm looking forward to it. We got to get a few more logistical things together, but that's coming up next. And okay, 5 Cane Corsos. Big fan. Yes, so Draxman, you're aware. So I'm having her come on. She's been great for this channel. She even helped me get started. So very, very happy to. Aiden has 3 Cane Corsos. Yeah, I'm very happy. So yeah, Aiden, if you're interested in coming on too, I would love to have you come on. Like I said, I can't do it on this particular stream because I'm using the regular YouTube app to stream this. I don't have the ability to give you a link, but in the future, hopefully maybe starting next weekend, I'll have that start back up using the service, which I'm paying for, by the way, guys, which I don't like. But I think there's value if I can get people to come in that are willing to show their dogs or whatever, how they train their dogs, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm just interested in seeing you guys come on, and I think it adds more value to the experience. Especially if people are looking to come here to train their dogs. They're looking to find places that, and with me not being a personal trainer, I'm just giving you just your everyday backyard dog, backyard papa, raising some dogs, but I'm also a busy man. I work a lot, and I've got a family of my, a human family as well. So, but I have to do certain things I got to do to make sure we all stay safe and healthy. So that's what I'm about. I'm more about, this is what I do to make sure I survive and my dogs are happy, my family's happy, and we're good. But it's nice to know that people that have, who dedicate them their most of their education or most of their what they do towards training animals, and having those people come on, their experience is very, very valuable. So I would love to have more of that, and have that especially on live if I can. So I might be able to do. I will have to see if I am training a dog then. Okay, perfect. Yes. So Aiden, Sunday mornings has been kind of the golden spot for me, but I like to come on Saturday mornings as well. So I don't know which day. Maybe we have to kind of coordinate that. What day works better for you? Whether you're more available on Saturdays or Sundays, or maybe there's some other day we can kind of do that, just to kind of, I still work, so most days unless I'm off, I can schedule that. But I'd love to have you on because I love your advice. Love your advice. And Tyson says I couldn't handle that. But yeah, I'll look up that food stick original with dog teething stick. I have to look that up. I'll look that up. I'll look that up. And but anyway, so that's what I'm looking forward to in the future. We want to have Ozzy the Cane Corso, having them come on. And we actually tried that a long time ago, but we tried it with the YouTube app, and it was a disaster. It was a wonderful show, wonderful time. We both were going back. We were back in work mode. We're just great. We work great together as coworkers. So we went right back into coworker mode, but just with our dog. So it was actually a fantastic show, but nobody could see it because the requirement for Wi-Fi was so high that it kept getting pixelated. We kept getting cut off. So no one watched it hardly. It was a disaster for the viewer. So we're trying to make adjustments. That's why I put my Wi-Fi router outside now, it's an outdoor router. So having that here, sending her the link, we're gonna try again, and this time hopefully people can enjoy the show and enjoy having us both on. You do 7 days a week. Oh wow. Okay, so you're busy. You're busy. But let's. I will say I don't think the girls are gonna have a soccer game next weekend. But I don't know if you'll be around, but I will try my best to be on streaming Saturday mornings at 8:30 and Sunday morning at 8:30. So if you are around, you got a dog, you see me, I'd love for you to come on. I'm gonna start using that service now. I jumped on today because I just wanted to make sure that I had a actually good, successful stream without worrying about all the extras with the new software, because I'm still trying to learn it, and it's a learning curve, but it's definitely a useful tool if I can get people to come on and show their dogs. But some days only five. Yeah, okay. Well, if the stars line up appropriately, we can get you on. I would love to have you on. But if any last comments or whatever, we pretty much gonna get these dogs inside, and we're gonna it's starting to warm up now. I'm like getting actually kind of warm, and the dogs are having a great time. They're just like enjoying the sun. They're gonna eat breakfast, and they're probably gonna come back out here and lounge around like this for the rest of the day. So, but anyways, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me this morning. Is it okay if I do show my face? Yeah, and use a voice changer. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, not show my face. Yes. Yeah, because I don't really show my face very much. I'm kind of one of those. I mean, I do occasionally. Like I look busted. So I don't. I look kind of busted. You know what I mean? So I don't even show my face hardly. I'm working on it. I gotta get some of this weight loss. Get back to my my summer weight, so I start showing my face again. But anyways, you're more than welcome just to show the backside of your camera like this. And I think with the software that I'm using now, I'm using it's not really a software. It's just a program that I'm subscribed to. It's called Evu Max. I think Evu Max. I think that's how you call it. Evu Max. Storm's like, you got it wrong. She's looking at me like, nope, you got it wrong, Daddy. Evu Mux, MUX. That's what it is, Evu Mux. Anyways, that program, like I said, it allows you to get a link, and I'll basically will send you the link, or you could just click on the link, and then once you're clicked on the link, it'll be in your browser. So it'll give you your camera settings. You'd have to put the camera on rear camera, and then we would only be seeing the rear of your camera, not the front. And of course, you'll be backstage, and then once I select you, well, of course, I can see you, make sure everything's good on the backstage. Then I can select you and put you on the front stage, and then you'll be live. Then, so totally possible, totally easy to do. Yeah, we'll see if we can get it going, but it's available. And like I said, I can't do it now because YouTube is kind of lagging behind on their technology with that. But I'm paying for the service. I want to use it, and I want the viewers to have that. That experience where people are able to see more than just my two lovely dogs, which I do love. All three of my dogs, I love them, and I think they're great to look at. But there are some other cool dogs out there, and there's some other training techniques, and there's other experiences. Oh my goodness, what are my dogs? My dogs are digging massive holes. That's Missy. Don't fall in that hole. That's my next task, is working on my dogs. Stop digging holes now. For some reason, they found a new interest in digging massive holes in my backyard. So, anyways, we'll get into that later. But thank y'all. How will I get the link? So Aiden, I think what I'll do is I'll have the link I'll just post it in the comments, and so you can either click on it or copy and paste it into your browser. So technically, more than one people. If I do it that way, a bunch of people can do the same thing. The difference is that once they do that, they'll all be in my backstage. All the people will be in a queue, and I have to select them to be on the front stage, the main stage, to be able to be visible. So it's okay for everyone to click on the link and be in the queue, but they just won't be seen yet, and they won't be heard until I put them on the stage. So once you're on the backstage, I can see that you're back there, and I can see what you see. No one else can. And then once you've got yourself situated how you want to be presented, then I'll put you on the main stage, and then everyone can see us both. And so that's how that's. So you don't have to worry about the moment that you click on the link, everybody sees everything. You know what I'm saying? At most, I will be able to see what's on your camera, and then you can adjust however you want. And I tried this out with my coworker because we were trying to figure this out ourselves. We were at work in the cafeteria, playing around with our phones, and so it's a pretty cool little system. But my goal is to do this. I'm gonna try to come on Saturday morning at 8:30 next weekend, and then Sunday morning at 8:30. So if you're here during those times, okay, this is Central Time. So I believe you said you were in the same time zone as me, or no? Zeke is here. What's going on? We're getting ready to shut down. We were just talking about our next stream. Okay, so yeah, so it'll be the same time, 8:30 on Saturday and 8:30 on Sunday, and that seems to be the sweet spot for me because it gives me time to wake up, and if my wife is available too, oftentimes she could be ready by 8:30. So that's why I use that because sometimes I'd come on like early in the morning, like 7 o'clock in the morning, and which I like being outside the normal times because sometimes there's a different audience. A lot of people come on from different countries. Because for them, it's like 7 o'clock in the evening or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So they jump on, and I'm up here like at 6 o'clock in the morning, or, you know what I'm saying? I'm at a weird time for me, but for other people across the world, and that we get a lot of people subscribe from different countries because it was just a different time that I streamed. So, can you put in chat when? Okay. Yeah, I will. I'll do a. That's the other thing, with the Evu Mux. You can actually schedule the stream, and so when I schedule it, a notification pops up on YouTube. So I'll go ahead this week. Go ahead and schedule that 8:30 Saturday or 8:30 Sunday or both, and maybe what I'll do is. Well, we'll start there. We'll start with that. And I may be able to do more than one person because what I don't want it to be, I don't want it to be where people can't see anybody because we're not doing like a podcast where it's people talking, which is a lot easier to do that because you can be right on your home computer, your PC or wherever, your Mac, and right next to the Wi-Fi router. We're outside, you know what I'm saying? I'm using my phone, and so that changes things up a little bit. I don't want the experience to be bad for the viewer. But, I'm okay with experimenting too. I'm not saying that we shouldn't try, but I'm thinking about maybe just having, if that weekend, it may be the weekend that we're streaming with Ozzy the Connie Corso, but if we can try to have you as a third guest on there, we'll see how the screen looks and see how it turns out. I'm willing to try anything just for having it to be, like I said, a valuable experience for people. Maybe, yeah, okay, 8:30 Saturday, yes. So my goal is to do both days. So I'll be available both that way. If you happen to be only available on Saturday or only available on Sunday, I can have both of those days covered. And even if you're not around that weekend, that's fine too, because I do it regardless. We can always shoot for the following weekend. But definitely want to have you on. Definitely want to be available for that. And I'm going to start using that Evu Mux and get rid of the YouTube version that I'm using. Like I said, the only difference is that I'll probably be glued to over there. You won't see the full yard anymore. But most people don't really mind. I think it's the information that's most important to a lot of the people, because we're trying to share good things about how to train your dogs. We're trying to share good information on how to keep your dog safe. That's the point of this. You know. Okay, awesome. So Tyson, I usually am streaming only on the weekends. I used to do randomly throughout the week as well when I first started, but life gets busy, you know what I mean? And even my shorts have been, I haven't been doing as many shorts as I usually do, because I try to be super creative with my shorts. I do music, I'll do dance videos with my dogs. I've even written music for my dogs. Literally went into my, I got like, I'm a on the side like a little musician. Well, at least I used to be when I was a kid. My dad was a pastor, and still is a pastor, by the way. And so I used to play for the church. So I've got a background in gospel music, and of course, but when I started going to school, I kind of had to, and I got married and families. I had to kind of put it to the side. So I don't really play anymore. It's been really years. It's been many, many years. And so you start losing your stuff. So I'm finding reasons to get back in there and try to learn how to play and all that good stuff. So I have written a few songs for my dogs because I was inspired to. Like Storm was giving me, she was on the couch the other, yeah, I'm talking about you, baby. She was on the couch staring at me, and I'm like, man, she is just staring at me so hard. So I had the camera rolling, and I just kept going closer and closer. I was like, well, dang, she never blinked. Her eyes was just like staring at me. And so I went back and looked at the video, and I was like, man, um, I was thinking, what you looking at? Or what they started thinking about, what if she's saying to me, what are you looking at? And so I got in there and wrote like a 90s love song ballad, a 90s ballad, like not a full song, but like a snippet, like a 30-second, what you looking at, whatever. And it came out beautifully. It sounded like a 90s hit. So, and then of course, I had to do one for him. So he was out here playing around, and I took a video of him, and I was like, I'm looking at you, girl. And then Chew is in CHEW. So I went back and wrote another 90s hit for him. And I did the whole little, I'm looking at you. And I used the talk box. You guys know what a talk box is? It's one of those little boxes that has a tube in it, and the tube goes in your mouth. And and whatever you play on the keyboard, that's the sound what goes in that tube, and it vibrates your vocal cords. And it has this weird, I don't know if you guys know who Roger and Zapp was from the what was it, 80s, Roger and Zapp. Anyway, that's the kind of sound that it. So I did all that with the dogs, and I don't know, I had a blast doing it. But my point is that I used to do a lot of stuff like that for my shorts, just to kind of create. I just have a creative side to me that I like to express, and so using my dogs to do that is kind of funny. And I also do like dog jokes where the dogs tell there's a joke that gets told while the dogs are playing. So I don't know. I try to keep my shorts interesting, but I have not had the time lately, and I'm kind of losing a little bit of the desire to create a lot of shorts videos. But I do that. All right, next weekend sounds good. The Empire Deep Thought is my favorite. Oh. Is that the one where they're around the pool, and he's thinking about taking over the world or whatever, big dog's taking over the world. That was funny. I've done so many over, I guess, this past year. My channel is really a year old at this point. It's a year old, and I started off just because my dogs were doing a lot of rough play. I just wanted to draw the attention, so I would just video them doing rough play. And then I started doing voiceovers with my dogs, where they start because it looked like they were talking to each other. So I might as well put some words to it. So I did a lot of voiceovers with my dogs, and that was funny. I had fun time doing that. And I did a compilation video that got like almost like 40,000 views. 40,000 views, which I thought was pretty cool for voiceover videos. And then I've had a couple viral videos where the ones that really people watch a lot to get thousands of views, if not millions of views, are the ones that where my dogs are just barking and protecting their property. Those are the ones that get caught on and get millions of views. I've got like at least three videos that reached over a million views. One of them is like 11 million or something. Or no, I'm sorry, 8 million views. And it's just them protecting their property, and I just happened to catch them at a time where they were barking. They were actually mistaking me for being an intruder, and so that went actually pretty viral. But outside of that, I try to do more creative stuff. Like I like them to either talk, voiceovers, or I'm writing music for them, or I'm doing something funny. So so yeah. But I have been kind of slow with doing a lot of shorts, and mainly just stream on the weekends, stream on Saturday, Sunday, because that streaming, I think, is the part where I think is most helpful to society and helpful to dogs worldwide. Because if I can motivate people to start paying attention to their dogs, if they're not used to, there are great people out there that already do that. They already exercise their dog. They're already, taking care of their dogs. They're already doing the right things with their dogs, and that's great. If you like watching me, I love to talk about my dogs, and I love to hear you talk about your dogs. But there are people out here that get these big dogs and they don't do any research. They don't know left from their right. And I think that's creating a lot of dangerous situations for the dogs, and it's dangerous for other humans and their family members. You've heard people come home, or they talk about their dog just attacks them, or mauls them in the face, or mauls somebody else, or whatever. And you often wonder, how much did they try to make sure that they had that relationship with their dog, to where they, the dog respected them, and were they doing the right things? Were they, that's the question I ask, because my dogs, they don't do that to me, or my family member. Now, like I said, I've had one instance with him, but I talk about that all the time, and that's the reason why I do talk about that, because I want people to learn from that, learn from my mistakes, share what any mistakes that people tell me to share with other people. And I think that's pretty valuable. So in some small way, I feel like I'm trying to give back through knowledge of what I've learned with raising my dogs. So can you do a joke real quick? Oh, you're asking me for a joke? Oh, okay. So let me give you one of the jokes that I've done with my dogs. I think it was the most recent one I did with him was, why do dogs run in circles? You give up? I know y'all seen that video. Come on. Why do dogs run in circles? Because running in squares is hard. I know it's stupid. I call them only dad jokes. so, so if you go to my shorts and you click on the ones that say only dad jokes, that's the kind of jokes that you'll hear. Anyways, no, I appreciate you, Drax, man. I need to probably learn a little bit more from Ozzy the Conde Corso, because they've been wildly successful. I really admire watching her channel grow. Like I said, she's the one that kind of inspired me to do my own station. She had been grinding for, I want to say, about 8 months or so before I finally got on the bandwagon. So, but just to be 8 months ahead of me, she's now at almost 200,000. I bet she may be already at 200,000 subscribers. But her format is different, because I'm only doing things that work for my personality, and that's the thing. I think you have to be, this is not a job for me. I try to do this out of creativity, like what I like to do and what I have the aptitude to do, what I have. So for me, writing the music for my dogs, it may not result in a lot of views, but it was enriching to me as a musician or a former musician, it's enriching to me to stimulate my brain outside of my, like, I love my job and all, and I think my job is cool. I do appreciate it. I work in pathology, by the way, if you don't know that. But so there's a lot to learn, a lot to be involved in when it comes to diagnosis of cancers and things like that. And I love that stuff. I love it. It's fine. But there's still a side of me that's like a creative side of me that I don't ever engage with. So for me to write a song for my dogs from scratch, and you won't see that music anywhere else. You won't be able to Google that and find out that someone else wrote that. That came from me, from the bass line to the piano to the drum line, everything. Even the vocals was all, well, with one caveat. One caveat is I did use one vocal clip for, I believe, her video. From that was because I have Pro Tools. But other than that, all the music part actually comes from me. And like I said, it wasn't very high, a lot of views with it, but it did mean something to me. And so I like doing things that are meaningful. And so my format, the way I approach it, may not be the most amendable to subscribers, but it is meaningful to me. You know what I mean? 194,000. Yeah, exactly, Draxman. So she's pulling the numbers and doing way better than I am. But I will say this too. I think if you're a female and you have big dogs, that's probably going to be a little bit more interesting than some guy like me, some military guy. I'm a military guy too, and she is too. I'm not saying we're not both military, but I think there may be a little bit more interests where you have a dainty female with this large, massive dog, a Connie Corso, that may be a little bit more amendable for long-term followership and viewership versus, old broke Joe me, out here in my backyard with my dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to see him. Let's go back to the girl. How did you take your profile pic? My profile pic? So I think that was just me just messing around. They were like, I take a lot of photos of my dogs, and I just happened to grab one. And we used to have a babysitter with our dogs, and so she may have actually taken that photo. It's either me or her, and I basically took out the background and I just, cut it out into a circle and then use that as because I wanted the thumbnail to be obvious that my channel is about these dogs. It's about a Connie Corso and a Rottweiler, and if this it's kind of a somewhat of a rare combination, so I wanted that to be my selling point, and that's why I make everything about my dogs and not about other things, for instance, because I could talk about pathology or military stuff and or living in Texas or whatever, but my understanding is oftentimes people don't like that. If your channel was about dogs and you start going off too far off the topic, people are like, nah, whatever, they don't want to, they didn't come here to hear me talk about some weird diagnosis, whatever, some you know what I mean. They're here to see the dog. So I try to stay true to the brand and try to stay true to what we're about. And but anyway, you get what I'm saying. Pup jokes. Okay, well, I'm okay with changing the name to get people more interested in it, because I guess Only Dad Jokes was just I tried to piggyback on the OnlyFans. I tried to piggyback on that to get people to click on it, because I think they're cute and they're funny jokes. They're not like, I don't do explicit stuff. That's one thing I do on my channel, is I do not, because I want to keep it where I feel comfortable that kids can watch this. Because a lot of times the kids are the ones that are taking care of the dogs, or they want big dogs too, and so they want to learn as well. So I try to keep it where it's friendly, where if their mom and dad walks in and they watching Storm and Rain, they can be assured that it's that they're learning something, and it's not going to be something bad. You know what I'm saying? So by all means, let your mom and dad walk in while you're watching Storm and Rain. Because it's a good thing. I'm going to be encouraging. I'm going to be selling you stuff that's helpful for your dogs, and we're going to be having fun. And that's the whole goal here. We're not going to be doing a bunch of nasty, bad cuss words. That's not how this channel is designed. So, anyways, that's what we're after. But I think I've talked myself up until breakfast time. So I only subscribed in 3 Connie Corso channels. Oh, wow. I feel honored. Thanks, Drax, man. I think I'm one of those three, right? It's also the Police Canine's B date. Oh, happy birthday to the Police Canine. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, guys. Well, I got some work to do. I'm gonna find out where the. Okay, very cool. I'm gonna find out where those chew sticks are, and still work on my Evu Mux, and then hopefully I can be back live next Saturday morning at 8:30. And you should see the Evu Mux announcement coming up. It should be posted like a post on YouTube so that it's solid. But that should be coming out next because they're clean channels. There you go. Awesome. Thanks, Drax, man. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that support. I feel like we live in a world now where people don't seem to value that, and I'm not, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not trying to say that, you know, that there shouldn't be a space for that kind of stuff, because there are people that stuff that's meant for adults, and I'm cool with that. You do your adult stuff. I'm just saying my channel is open for children and adults. You know what I'm saying? I don't use that kind of stuff. I try my best to keep it on the interesting, but not where kids can't watch it. So, all right, guys. Well, y'all have a good one. Thank y'all for the likes and thank y'all for the watching us, and we'll see y'all. Hey, Juan, what's going on? Long time no see, man. You caught me right at the tail end. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank y'all so much.